Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to learn Poem 5, A Poison Tree, written by the great English poet William Blake. This poem is from your SSLC 10th Standard First Language English textbook, Part 1. This poem has 4 stanzas. William Blake was not only a poet but also a thinker and artist. Through this poem, he teaches us an important lesson about anger. Anger is natural human emotion, but how we handle it decides whether it brings peace or destruction. The poet shows us that openly expressing anger can end problems, but hiding anger can grow into something poisonous just like a tree. Now let's begin with first stanza, expressed anger versus suppressed anger. In the first stanza, the poet talks about two situations of anger. He says that when he was angry with his friend, he expressed his anger honestly. Because of this, his anger ended quickly. But when he was angry with his enemy, that is foe, he did not express his anger. Instead, he kept it inside his heart, and slowly his anger grew stronger day by day. Here, William Blake clearly tells us that communication solves problems while silence can make anger more dangerous. Students, let me give you an example. If your friend hurts you unknowingly and you talk to them politely, the misunderstanding ends quickly. But if you remain silent and keep thinking about it, your anger increases day by day. Now let's move on to the second stanza, how anger is nurtured. In the second stanza, the poet compares hidden anger to a plant that is carefully grown. He says he watered his anger with fear and tears both day and night. This means he kept worrying and thinking about his anger constantly. On the outside, he showed fake smiles and behaved nicely, but inside, he was full of deceit and dishonest. This stanza shows how pretending to be happy while hiding anger is dangerous. The anger does not disappear, instead, it becomes stronger. Students, let me give you an example for this. Sometimes students smile at classmates but secretly feel jealous or angry. This hidden emotion slowly turns into hatred. Now let's move on to the third stanza, anger bears fruit. In this stanza, the poet tells us that the tree of anger grew day and night and finally produced a bright apple. This apple represents the result of long hidden anger, which is temptation and destruction. The foe, which means enemy, sees the shining apple and understands that it belongs to the poet. The apple attracts the enemy just like hidden anger attracts trouble. Let me give you an example for this. When anger grows inside a person for a long time, it may result in harsh words, revenge, or harmful actions. Now let's move on to the fourth stanza, the destructive result. In this final stanza, the poem reaches its climax. The foe secretly enters the garden at night and eats the apple. In the morning, the poet sees his enemy lying dead beneath the tree. Shockingly, the poet feels glad. This stanza gives a strong warning. Suppressed anger does not only destroy others but also removes kindness and humanity from the person who holds it. Let me give you an example for this. Revenge may give temporary satisfaction, but it leaves permanent stains on one's character. Students, now let's see what is the conclusion of this poem. Through a poison tree, William Blake clearly teaches us that anger must be expressed honestly and calmly. Suppressing anger is like growing a poisonous tree that eventually harms everyone involved. The poem uses simple language but delivers a powerful message about human emotions and relationships. Students, now let's see